All right, let's talk about something we pretty much all do: overthinking. We're going to dig into why our brains get so easily tricked into feeling productive when we're really just spinning our wheels. And most importantly, we'll get to the one single question that can help you break free from that cycle.
I mean, really think about it for a second. That feeling of your mind just churning, replaying scenarios over and over, analyzing every tiny detail. It feels like you're working so hard on the problem, doesn't it? But then you look up, you're totally exhausted, and you realize, what have I actually accomplished? And that's the heart of it, right there. That's the core illusion we're unpacking today. See, that feeling of being busy is not the same thing as being effective. It's your brain playing a really clever trick on you. And just understanding that trick, that's the first step to taking back control. So let's start with what we can call the productivity illusion. This is all about that disconnect between feeling busy and actually getting things done. So why does something so counterproductive feel so right in the moment? Well, it's because our brain convinces us that we're being responsible, that we're being thorough, looking at a problem from every possible angle so we don't make any mistakes. It really feels like a positive treat, like you're being diligent. But what's actually happening? We're just churning. We're not really preparing. This false sense of productivity builds up into a really powerful psychological trap. There's a specific cognitive bias at play here, and it's known as the illusion of control. Now, the concept itself is pretty simple, but its effect is incredibly powerful. Your brain starts to treat thinking about a problem as if you're actually controlling it. The more you analyze and spin on it, the safer you feel, even if you haven't changed a single thing in the real world. And this is how it becomes an addictive cycle. It goes like this. You feel anxious, so you start to overthink. That thinking provides that illusion of control, which gives your brain a tiny little hit of relief from the anxiety. And just like any reward, your brain learns to chase it, conditioning you to overthink the very next time you feel uncertain. It's a loop that just keeps feeding itself. So what's the real cost of getting stuck in this loop? Well, it leads to a very real and frankly frustrating state we call analysis paralysis. And all that thinking has some serious hidden costs. The impact isn't just about a lack of progress, it's actively harmful. It literally floods your body with stress hormones like cortisol. Instead of making things clearer, it actually makes your thoughts foggy. Important decisions get pushed back again and again, and you burn all this incredible mental energy for absolutely zero real-world results. Here's the bottom line. Your brain has two basic modes: analysis and action. Overthinking keeps you locked in analysis mode, just endlessly spinning up scenarios without ever shifting into the gear that actually makes things happen. This brings us to a really critical distinction we need to make: the difference between thinking and overthinking. How can you tell when you've crossed that line from productive problem solving into just a destructive mental loop? Okay, here it is in a nutshell. Productive thinking always has forward momentum. It's moving toward a solution or a decision or some kind of action. It's constructive. Overthinking, on the other hand, is completely stagnant. It just moves in circles. It fixates on the problem itself, looping over the same old worries without ever finding a way out. One builds, the other just spins. Okay, so we get the problem, we see the cycle, and we know the cost. Now for the most important part, the fix. How do you actually shift your brain from analysis to action? Well, it all comes down to one surprisingly powerful question. That's it. That is your escape hatch. Notice it's not, what's the perfect solution? It's not, how do I solve this whole thing at once? It's just, what is the very next smallest, most manageable step I can possibly take? And here's why that simple question works so well. Taking even a tiny action shatters the illusion of control. It proves to your anxious brain that real control doesn't come from thinking, it comes from doing. Action creates momentum, and it gives you a clarity that just looping in your head never ever will. Now, let's be crystal clear about something. The goal here is not to stop thinking. Of course not. Thinking is our superpower. It's how we solve problems, how we innovate, how we plan for the future. But overthinking? That's not a superpower. It's actually just avoidance, dressed up to look like productivity. It's a way to avoid the fear of taking action, the fear of maybe making a mistake, or even the fear of failure. So ultimately, it really just comes down to a choice. The next time you feel your mind starting to spin, Are you going to stay in the comfortable noise of overthinking, or are you going to ask that one question that cuts right through it all and leads you to the clarity of action? The choice is yours.